Welcome to MPA Feedback Stream 35. I am the guild leader, and today with us we have Blae and Radium.
Hello.
This is the live stream we do every Friday at this time, where we take submissions from members of the MPA community. We listen to their tracks live here on YouTube, and we give our feedback to help you gain a new perspective on your music. If you want to get your track on the stream, look for the featured post in the Amino community and on the Discord, and submit your track there and come back next Friday for your feedback. All right. I'm going to keep announcements pretty quick today. Just a reminder, we're doing the Jay Piercy remix competition. I'll be finishing up mine probably tomorrow live on the production stream. We got about a little less than 2 weeks left to submit those. I will be sending out another notification for that as a reminder. And that's pretty much it. And then the production stream tomorrow on Twitch. Yeah, me too. I think it's gonna be. It was really fun content. The sample, the remix pack with the vocals alone are really nice. But I mean, the guitar that he has in the guitars that are in the pack, the drums that are in the pack, everything is just really nice to work with. Even if you were just to, mix it down again like a different, just I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to see what people come up with. Have fun with it. And Jay Piercy will be picking the winner. So just, I know there was talk of a cover song or something like that, but I'm just like thinking, that's not the same as a remix. So I'm just like, Jay Piercy picking the winner. So if you're curious about that, or you're curious about like how you're going with your remix, just maybe reach out to Jay Piercy. They will probably tell you if it's the rules or not. Anyways, I am gonna go ahead and pass this over to Blae. I'm a little distracted, and please forgive me for that. I need to still get situated here, and we'll get going. So Blae, I'm gonna pass this to you. How many submissions did we get today?
All right, we got 5 submissions. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I just gotta.
Let's just start with our first submission then, which is going to be the Grungi one by Xandit X the Grungi one. All right, have fun.
Holy fuck, where'd you find this?
All right, so that was the Grungi one by Xandit X, the Grungi one, and Xandit did leave us a note, which I forgot to post in the channel that we're talking in. But I'm gonna read Xandit's note right now. We were in a voice chat playing Among Us and messing around trying to remix Dagoth Wave together. Look up Dagoth Wave if you're genuinely curious. We got to trying to recreate the 80s laser toms from scratch and stumbled upon the greatest accidental discovery in rhythm history. What we now dub the Grungi tom. Shout out to Sir Snaily, and the Grungi one for staying up until 3:30 a.m. to finish this one out with me. It only took us 3 hours. So it's pretty garbage. So it's pretty garbage, but hey, it's pretty good. Whoa, what? Okay, sorry. It's okay. So when I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm not gonna. Okay, what did you think, Guild?
It's funny. Well, I mean, I'm gonna because he said it only took 3 hours, so it's pretty garbage, but it's pretty good. Same time. That was funny. Now, so I think this is a 3-hour track for sure. I think it's a great idea, but it just it's just missing so much for me to be like, okay, so you got like a real basic rhythm kind of thing, but all the other elements of what makes like a interesting rhythm track are not there. Um, and a lot of it, and some of that actually has to do with the mix. Like rhythm, the thing about rhythm, even though it's so simple and almost so like, just like almost every track sounds the same kind of. Um, uh, it's because I mean, it's not just about the sounds being used or the and it's not, sometimes it's not just about the rhythm. It's about the mix and if those sounds are coming out of the speakers correctly, like actually moving your ears. Like with this bass music and rhythm, one of the main elements, if you listen to like some of the best rhythm tracks, it it really does feel like the bass is kind of like whipping you every time it does the whoop 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 whoop. Like it feels like it's moving the air enough to like move your body, and it you feel it. You really do feel the hard, heavy, like drum. I mean, dubstep and rhythm and all that stuff. The kick drum and the snare drum are so loud, and if you don't do that, you're kind of not doing the genre justice, because what makes those genres, for the people that do enjoy them, what makes them good in the first place is how punchy, snappy this kick and snare is, and then how whippy, like how good that bass is, how whoopy the sub is, and if it really is making you like whoop 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 whoop. And then once you get that right, you can't be repetitive. It's a repetitive genre, so anything that like adds to the repetitiveness is not good. So you really got to like, you can't do like really long drops if they don't change up like throughout the thing. You can't just have the same drop going the entire time, and then people don't have a long enough attention span. Is the problem. That's the problem with this. I mean, it's just like people. I mean, as I won't even call it a problem. I'm just saying you got to play to people's attention. You want to keep people intrigued, and when it's too repetitive and there's not enough going on and there's not enough changes, like I would recommend like halfway through the drop or even a quarter of the way through the drop, change up the rhythm of the bass, not just keep the rhythm the same the whole time. But so I think it was a neat idea. I think I could tell y'all had fun with it. The people that worked on it while y'all playing Among Us and stuff, and it's neat that y'all the track takes on a different, almost like a different purpose at that point. It's a fun thing that y'all did together. But as far as like some of the stuff that you've released in the past and comparing it to a bunch of other music, I think this is just a really 3-hour track. All right. I'll pass it over to Blae. What do you think, Blae?
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think it's very repetitive. Also, I guess it's more of an experiment, so it's less so about the music stuff. I guess it's more about a new sound or something. I guess. Um. Uh. So yeah, that. Yeah. um. Not really sure. I think. Um. I think, yeah, it sounds about as I would expect a what seems to have been a pretty fun but also messy 3 hours of messing with things. So yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is a new discovery for the genre. Maybe yeah.
I was curious what they were
I'd
saying about
like
the
to see.
tom.
Oh yeah.
I was curious what they were saying about this. So, what we now dub the grungy tom. So they made a sound. I'm guessing. What is it?
I guess
I'm reading. Yeah,
there's
so
I guess there's like a tom.
recreating the '80s lasers toms from scratch and stumbled upon the greatest accidental. Sorry, this is a perfect
I
example.
think
Sorry,
they,
but I want to cut.
yeah, they try to. I think they like try to like emulate like a specific sound, and then
Right.
it's in
You came up
there
with some.
somewhere. I guess it's one of the distorted drums. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that I would just throw this out as an example of what I comment on a lot. Well, I mean, I mention a lot to friends of mine and stuff is sometimes as a producer you can get really stoked on how you made a sound and you forget like what it actually sounds like, or you're not taking into consideration what the sound actually sounds like to someone that doesn't know how you made it. You know what I mean? And I say this to analog, like people that mess with analog module synths and stuff all the time is, you can make a really basic sound and it takes you a while and you get really creative with the wire and the patching and this, and you get and you feel that you created something really complex, but it doesn't come across to the listener. To the listener, it comes across as just another sound that you might have got from a sample pack or a simple preset or synth or something. And I would say maybe the reason why I got so stoked about this track, and I could be wrong, is because y'all made that sound from scratch out of a tom, and y'all had a fun time with it and stuff. But
Hey, you
I
know
was like,
what
I don't.
though? I think a major factor to this issue is how things are being utilized in the end. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's almost like more important than the sound itself. I mean, I'm not saying uh, I'm talking about the factors that play into the perception of those sounds. I'm not saying the other stuff is more important than the sounds. I mean, sort of is, but what I meant with that statement is that I think the perception of those sounds, even if they're like really complex or stuff, I think they're just really underwhelming if you don't really do anything with them. That's
Right.
something I see with a lot of this is, I'm sort of into analog gear and synthesizers and modular synthesizers. I think they're really interesting, really fun to, mess with. But I feel there's this point where any sound becomes like any other sound. It's just like, it does this crazy thing here and that, and it just becomes this like blobby mess. And I think there's a point when any sound turns into that, and yeah, it's this hyper focusing on that, and you forget what you're doing it for. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you doing it for? What's it being used for in the end? Are you gonna use it musically, or what's happening with it? Is it just gonna be this like sound effect that plays like in a 4-bar loop? I think that's boring, and I think it doesn't do anything with the tech. That's sort of the thing I'm always ranting about. I'm not gonna get into that now, but just a quick, very short summarization of that is that I forgot what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna stop.
You're like, I'm about to get in a rant. Here it comes. I can't remember quite what it
Yeah,
was.
no, it's
No, it's fine.
yeah, no,
I mean,
it's just that
honestly,
people they just do stuff and yeah. Okay, all right. So what did you think, Radio? It's gonna be one of those streams.
no, I already.
It's gonna be one of those streams.
Wait, let me put my phone on this side. Okay. I actually didn't have anything else to say other than it's super repetitive, and like that's literally it. It's very repetitive, and it's like mildly annoying because there's nothing else to focus on except the constant same melody and shit. So I'd love to know what's the purpose of the song, if it has one, because there's no way it's going out that repetitive. Like even for EDM, that is a lot of the same thing over and over again. So yeah, I have nothing else to say. I don't know what else to say other than wow. Yeah.
I think that's totally fair. I think it's a real 3-hour track and it's real simple, so the feedback's going to be kind of short like that. But I'm glad you had fun with it, Xandit. It sounded like you did the way it was created. You know, it's always neat to be playing a game with a group of people and an idea pop out like that.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised about that time. 3 hours. I don't want to say, but I'm a bit disappointed by the result.
I know.
I
That's
think
why
you
I
could
picture
achieve
it
more in 3 hours.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it might have been a lot of like the online like collaboration that takes a little bit more time.
Yeah. It's not really. Yeah, it's more. I think it took more time to, you know, it's fun. But when you get like when I'm hyper focused, like what I did for the past 3 days, I woke up at like ridiculous times. For 3 days in almost a row, and I was working like 1 hour, 2 hour, hyper focused, done for the day. But I got so much done, which I'm actually going to show. This is a really good transition, because the next submission is actually by me, and it's something I made in 6 to 7-ish hours over the course of 3 days, when I was just, you know, like this kind of hyper focused. Should we get into that now? Or did you want to say something else to Xandit?
No, I'm fine. I'm just typing.
Right, okay. All right, so yeah, the next submission for today is going to be Through Colors and Time by me.
Nice.
Have fun. All right. So that was Through Colors and Time by me. All right. I did not leave us a note since I'm here.
Oh.
I'll just explain real quick. So there's going to be two versions of this. This is the short version, but I have more ideas for this. This is what I finished this morning, which is going to be used for music licensing on Artlist if everything goes through. But I'm going to work on an extended version because I still have more ideas. I still see more to this. You could call it a story, though I'd say it's more. I see it more as an experience, as a. It's very visual for me.
Yeah.
Though abstract, and there's more to what I'm exploring. But yeah. Like I said, this happened over the course in like 6 hours. That's 6 hours work, like actual work in my DAW. So of course, when I'm not in there and I'm doing anything else, I'm still like, my mind is still there and thinking about it. So the actual like work time is more, probably. It's just the physical moving my mouse and clicking things inside FL Studio. That was 6 hours to make this happen. So, yeah. So yeah, well, yeah. Let's talk about this. What do you guys think?
I mean, it really comes across that. No, I mean, the way you say it, it's like visual to you and stuff. It actually comes across to even just the listener. I mean, that's just kind of the way I listen to music also, but it really does tell a story. Like, I mean, it takes me and puts me in a place, and it opens like this style of music and the way you do it. It sparks a lot of creativity to me. Like, it makes me want to fill in the blanks. Like, not necessarily with your song, but just like with like other things. Like, okay, you know, this could be, you could have characters, you could have this, you could have a scene, you could have all these emotions that you get in it, and then it inspires me. And I usually, like many things, I usually get my inspiration from thinking like that, and then I go and use that motivation to on something completely different, you know. But it's just where I get my creative energy is from stuff like this, where I see other people being extremely creative in a way that just, you know, it inspires creativity. I love it, and and it really does tell a story. Like, I could just, you get lost. You kind of like always, just like you were watching a story and you're waiting for the character to like open the door to see what's on the other side of the door, or you're waiting for, you know, something about to happen because you know something's about to happen. In a piece of music like this, I mean, in this piece of music, I mean, I was just always like waiting, like, okay, like this is good, like it's like, oh, something's about to happen, but like not like a surprise, like more just like well, kind of a surprise, but also more of like a like it's telling you something's happening, and you. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Let me cancel that. Something's happening in the story, and you know it's about to tell you, like, you're about to get the answer, and then you do get the answer, and then you're like, okay, then the character's going over here, and you know it's like, you know it's going places. Is what I'm trying to say. Versus a story that's just kind of like lost and it's not really making sense, and you're just like, it could go any direction. This, it feels like it leads you in a certain direction. It's easy to follow along, and it does paint a picture, and then it's like it resolves itself. I don't know. I just like the way it resolved. It's really, I did like the climax also. I'm looking at the Miro said the same thing. I love the climax. Yeah, I love the way this resolved. I love the way it kind of it answered all the questions I had for it. I don't know. I'm trying to be, in this kind of music, I try to give feedback that's a little bit more descriptive like that. But honestly, I really felt it. I think you did a good job. This is a perfect example of a, you know, an actual piece of music that, you know, has a purpose, beginning, middle, and end, and it's enjoyable to listen to. And I think, even though most of our people that submit here are making like more traditional beat style based music and stuff, there's a lot to be learned from just this kind of songwriting and storytelling and put into any genre of music. So it's cool that you shared it.
Awesome.
No negatives,
I
honestly.
So.
I can't think of negatives.
Thank you. I think so too. I think it's a bit sad that people sometimes lose sight of what's sort of out there and what can be achieved, and I wish there'd be more things learned from classical and contemporary classical music and other genres as well, taken into these other genres that people here work in. It's just sort of not in the sense of, oh, only if you make this specific thing then it's good, but it's a matter of I think there's just like what I do, like when I make something like this, it's like pure emotion, it's pure it's it's pure emotion and feeling things and seeing things and experiencing them and expressing that through music and through sound. And I think in classical music there's so many things like this, especially in contemporary classical music. Some of my favorite composers, most of them people like Stravinsky or Shostakovich, Alban Berg, they all do that, and it's just so whenever I hear something like that, I just get baffled, even by others as well. Just get baffled by how modern it sounds, by what's going on, and comparing it to what's going on with a lot of EDM music and my favorite radio pop music. It's just how backwards, how this is seen as this modern new thing, yet it seems so obsolete. I just wish people would take more from what has been, what still is, because there's so much to explore, and I think it's just such a different way of thinking about music. It's the storytelling,
Right.
it's this emotion. I think it's just not being utilized.
Sometimes I hope it's just like the technology kind of like will also play into that. Like when you look back at like music videos from the 70s or whatever and 80s, and they're just so bad, and it's just like green screens that are not done right and everything. I hope that one day, even in the electronic music, even though I love electronic music, I think there's been some really good songs done. I hope that kind of looking back one day at electronic music as a whole, a lot of people are like, whoa, we're just doing this like not good enough. Like just like the music videos back in the day. You look at them now, you're just like, this is just bad, just because they didn't have the technology figured out and they weren't using it right. But yet you found there were some music videos that were creatively done that were good, but most of them were just bad. So I kind of think about it with technology, with electronic music and technology music and stuff, that maybe
so I think we're at this point where we've advanced so far technologically that we can do so much, we can do anything, but we're just at this point where no one's really utilizing, because they get so focused on what's possible that they forget what they're using it for. Because what I see is, we've advanced quite a bit with the sort of technology, with you said like a green screen and stuff like that. We got so far with visual effects, but if I look at modern movies, we've gone backwards. We're not utilizing it. It's it looks photoreal and stuff like that, but we've lost all the other aspects to movie. We lost the storytelling, we lost the acting, we lost the directing, we lost cinematography. We're losing all that. It's just all, it's just
like in the music. And
if I want to be blunt about it, it's just going to shit. And I think it's the same thing that's happening or happened to music, because electronic music started in classical music. There was an attempt to bring an electronic instrument into the orchestra. It just didn't pick up because of a number of reasons. It's pretty complicated how things get into the orchestra. It's the same with saxophone. When instrument, it just sort of didn't happen. There are a couple of orchestra pieces with saxophone, but it's not the standard. It didn't make it to the standard orchestra setup if you want to call it that. For a number of reasons, it's the same thing there. And then we got people being more experimental with it. And there are sort of great things that that were done with synthesizers and Moog synthesizers or Moog, I don't know, and modular synthesizers. And now at this point where we have so much software and so much hardware, and we can't do anything with it. Back then they had like major limitations and was like, very experimental and stuff. But they did just like crazy things with it, like crazy things and good things, great things. It's like really. When you listen to it today, it sounds like it was done tomorrow, basically. It sounds so.
The ideas,
it
yeah, 'cause the
sounds
ideas
so
seem
out of this
revolutionary,
world.
yeah.
It's just so insane.
You think of-
And now that's
yeah.
the same thing. We're going backwards. As we have all these capabilities, and it's like this happens when I watch. Okay, I don't want to go at people or anything, but this sort of happens to me when I watch certain YouTube videos of people who have modular synths and stuff like that, and they like make these like crazy sounds. And it's like, oh wow, this sounds insane. What are you gonna do with it? And it's the standard kind of pop music form thing, and it's just it's a missed opportunities all over the place, and it's just so disappointing to see. Just so disappointing because why have this crazy sound if you're just not gonna do anything with it? That's what I'm talking about all the time. So then I feel sometimes that with this piece, for example, particularly in the ending bits, I feel like I'm getting sounds there way crazier than some people do with synthesizers, and it's just so much more effective. And what am I using? Nothing special. It's just like standard orchestra stuff. It's just like a clarinet, flute, oboe, strings, and it's just a crazy harmony and sounds, and it's it's just wild, just the pure color, pure visuals and emotion, and it's just it's I think at least and I think it does so much more than what a lot of people with hypothetically more sound capability, like you can make crazier sounds with something that is not really set in any sort of reality, if you want to say it like that. Yet it's so much more limited because of the poor execution, and it's kind of interesting.
Radium said she likes it in the chat. Radium, did you
Yeah,
wanna-
so sorry, we got on this
I know we
strange rant again.
Just I mean, it's neat that you submitted one of your tracks because it's like
Yeah.
you always it gives you a good chance to kind of give examples of what you're talking about all the time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. Just I thought this was a good opportunity to mention that again. And want to mention again. 6 hours actual work in FL Studio. So yeah, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, in
6
fact, I
hours.
think a lot of the I hear this again and again on podcasts. A lot of the best songs have been written really fast. It's the touch-ups and all the other work you do kind of after that could drag on. You could spend a lot of time on, but great idea could be written down super fast and then
Right.
produced.
Yeah,
if
I
you know
mean,
your
of course, it technically, it's taken more like 4 days,
Right.
because I mean, technically 6 hours is a lie. It's just 6 hours of physical work and then 4 days of thinking and brain stuff, which still I think it's a relatively short amount of time for the result. Though I'm super sleep deprived. I'm super exhausted. I'm not gonna make
I
music
feel like
for
that.
a
I think
week
we're
or
the same.
something. I don't know.
I don't know
Yeah, no, it's super
think we're
demanding. Yeah.
Anyway,
It's-
shall we
yeah.
move on to the next
Yeah,
one?
let's move on to
Radio?
the next submission, which
We
is.
promised to let you speak next time.
Oh, sorry, what?
I was just saying, Radium chatted that she's gonna just email her feedback each time, and I said no. I'm sorry. I will let you talk next time. I didn't mean to. We went on for a while. We never
Yeah.
let Radium talk. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here we go. Let's move on.
All right. So, the next submission for today is going to be, Amelia ._whip_ by mintymist . Have fun. All right. So that was Amelia dot underscore whip underscore by a mintymist dot. Minty did not leave us a note, a message, so we're just gonna go right to the feedback. All right. So what did you guys think? What did you think, Gilda?
Very nice one, Minty. This is I definitely think this was an interesting track. Like I liked, like I was intrigued. I was stuck. I was gonna listen to the whole thing, but like I like, um, you're more. I know that you never like said or claimed a certain genre, and I've always kind of like pigeonholed you into like certain like lo-fi genres and stuff, and that's not really what you've ever necessarily said that your end goal was. I think this is a step away from your traditional lo-fi hip hop, but that's not a bad thing. Like, but I just want to like say that because I do love your lo-fi hip hop stuff because I love lo-fi hip hop. It's one of my favorite things to listen to. I'll probably listen to that more than anything else now for some reason. It's just so easy to listen to. It's like elevator music. Anyways, I really enjoy it, and I thought you had
There's
a
a good
good twist
description
on it.
for it, actually. Elevator
Yeah,
music.
totally. No, I had
Ha!
someone else told me that the other day too.
Nice
'Cause I
roast,
was
Gilda. Well done.
no, I was saying well, I mean, some people they know that when they're making lo-fi music, they're making study beats, and they know they're trying to get on study beats playlists, and essentially study beats are background music and stuff, and things
Noise
like that.
music.
And
Noise machine.
yeah,
Noise machine
it's something
music.
it's easy to listen to. But what I was gonna say about Minty Mist is Minty Mist had a twist on it. It wasn't doing just lo-fi. He had like a lo-fi sound, but he was doing these leads and these synths that would come from more of these kawaii styles and then these new like experimental like jazz styles and stuff like that. I like that angle. I mean that direction. Now, again, I would agree that a lot of your tracks kind of sounded similar because of like maybe chord progression stuff. So I would say there's many ways you could stick in that same bubble and do different chord progressions. But now that was just a personal taste, like how much I like your original tracks and like that genre that you were in. I'm a big fan of it. Now this to me is a neat Minty Miss trying something different and really kind of it's like it seems like an exploration for a new sound. It seems like it has elements of all these past like previous genres that have been popular the past few years, all like wrapped up in it, but it's like moving into something else. Like I'm being very visual today after listening to Blae's piece. Like I was listening to this, I was like, yeah. And I was excited. I was just kind of like paying attention to it. And I think when you were doing the spots where the drums would stop and everything would stop and it was just a couple instruments, I think, and you're calling it a whip, but I'm thinking if you're going to go, thinking you're going to go add a lot more right in those very bare spots. And I think it kind of need. I mean, and I'm thinking of like a group, Hyper Potions. They do some really, really nice electronic music in this vein, but with a lot more like punch to it in a sense. But when they break down like this, it's kind of theatrical in the background to kind of like not really like orchestral theatrical, but more just like when you do like little stabs and little build-ups and it's building back up, you got these like little splashes and little rolls and maybe a single kick drum here and there. They kind of add a little bit more energy to the breakdowns and leads into the the build up. I'm not a big fan of risers myself, and I hope they kind of die off. But every song still needs some kind of build up, like it's building up to the next part of the song. It doesn't have to be a riser. It just needs to be something that's building tension, is what you call it, just tension. And I think it lacked tension in between the really good parts. So I think it's a good job. It's a nice direction, and it's really exciting to hear you explore different things. But all right, I'll pass it over to Blae.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot I would have said was already said. I think it's really great that you're trying to go into a slightly different direction and explore different things. No, I like it. I like it better than some of the other stuff. I'm not saying it's like bad the other stuff, but it's very just very similar. This stands out more. I think even as a whole, not just like your own stuff. I think this stands out a little bit more within music of a sort of similar genre, though I don't know too much of that. I think it sticks out ever so slightly more than some other pieces. Tracks. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you still have that, one choice of interval, that one motion in there twice, I think. At least once towards the end. I think I put it in the beginning too. Which I'm still just a little bit annoyed by it, but I like it more in this sort of form where it's not this permanent thing. I think it's good that you're got more variety going in this. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I just think you should go even further. I think there's I think you're taking the feedback to heart, which is great, and I think the result is only speaking for it. So I'm excited. I think this is a step in the right direction, and I think this, if you keep at that and keep up the pace and explore new things, I think it's good chances of
finding something.
Yeah,
finding the treasure. The exploration will lead to the treasure.
Exactly. The treasure.
Well, I see like being such an like saying how they like the metaphor of like it's being like you can see that it feels like it's exploring a new genre. It's like exciting to hear what you discover in the exploration. Because that's the thing. Exploration leads to discovery. I think. What do you think, Radium? Have we heard Radium's voice today?
I believe. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. I think Xandit got a bit of feedback. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Radium. Yep,
Okay,
mic is
good.
working.
You know what? I'm gonna be the one who keeps her feedback short this week.
That's fine.
So, I wasn't sure where it was going at the beginning, so I'm glad that it went a direction that I did not expect, and that's always good. I like that it switched up many times. It still felt like it was going the same direction. I like it. It felt like there were new ideas too. So, and it's a work in progress. So, I like that work in progress so far. I like I feel like it's the track where you are gonna be maybe creative and out of your comfort zone and out of your bubble. So I'm excited to see what it's gonna sound like. When it's complete. Now a side note. I would love to know who Amelia is and what did you do?
Amelia.
Who is she?
Well, never know.
Or maybe we will.
Maybe we will.
Find
Yeah,
out
maybe
next
we will.
track.
Yeah, next track is titled something else, and then within 10 feedback streams, we'll know the full story. But we won't, because we're not that smart and not looking back.
That's for later for the scholars. That's later. That's later for the people.
Yeah.
Future.
One day in a million years, people are going to discover ruins of an old civilization, and they find mintymist's track titles, and they will know who Amelia was. All right. So let's move on to our next submission, which is going to be Birds and the Bees by Chika Prior. Have fun.
Too young for this.
One day I will die, wondering if I did suicide. Let the birds and the bees lock in the cage. Is this where I'm laying? I'm not always wanted me to be frozen shy. I'll be frozen for eternity. Yeah, the bees are swarming. Birds and the bees, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, birds and the bees.
All right, so that was Birds and the Bees by Chika Prior. All right, and Chika did leave us a note as always, which is I like this, Chika. This is not this is not criticism. I like that you're leaving us good explanations of what's going on. It's really helpful actually. Sometimes they're a bit long with like all the credits and stuff, but I think it's really good. I think it's good practice to do that. So
One time she added the lyrics, I think.
that's unnecessary, but all right, so Birds and the Bees is never coming out. Okay, great start. I lost the file. I lost the file and never got a chance to mix it. I produced, written, and sang this track. Sorry, still. What a great opening to that message. Okay, anyway. I know that on this one my words aren't clearly sung. That's why I'm never releasing it as well. Too much imperfections. Okay, seeing some things here. Oh dear. The Birds and the Bees is about cyber sex and cyberbullying. This song is about a girl named Amanda Todd. Oh, okay. Where her pictures were everywhere. Sexual pics, that's in brackets. And that she died because of suicide back in 2012. Because of the bullying and cyberbullying got worse. Okay. I'm not laughing at that. I just don't know what happened. Okay. Oh dear. Yes, sorry, I wasn't not laughing about the serious stuff. I was laughing because I just didn't see any of that coming. All right, so what did you guys think? That was surprising. Yeah, what did you think, El? Sorry.
Yeah, so it's neat that you did this one all by yourself, Chika. Seems like
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
for the most part. And I mean, you already said you don't plan on releasing it, so maybe that's why you're a little just more loose. And it seems like it. I don't remember hearing about this story, but I might have probably heard about it back in 2012. It's definitely a sad story. And I noticed that you've done this a few times with your songs. You definitely you'll touch on some serious stuff, which is cool because music is powerful for that very reason. It's interesting when you take it to a feedback stream because I mean, there's no problem with it, but you take it to a feedback stream and you can turn the mood to serious real quick just because it's a serious song. But besides that, if we're just talking about the song and not talking about what it's about or whatever, which is again a horrible, thing that happens. Whatever, internet's not all fun and games. It's a serious place, and it's like the wild wild west. You gotta be careful on the internet, and I hope people are learning that by now. But anyways, let's just talk about the song itself. I think this is neat, but this is definitely one of your weaker songs. I don't know. I think my feedback's been a little harsher today, but I'm being honest with people. I think this is a little bit of one of your weaker songs. I've heard you do a lot better with songwriting. I'm not even talking about the quality of the production, but with songwriting, I think this one was a little. I don't know. I don't know. I think it works because it seems like you just really had like you were thinking about this, and it made you upset again. 9 years later or whatever it's been, and you're like, man, it's messed up. I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna use music to get this emotion off my mind. And you wrote a song about it. And it kind of came out like that. It was kind of straight to the point with a little bit of anger and sadness behind your emotions. But that being said, that's maybe why I don't like it as much as some of the other songs. I like some of the other songs that a little bit more. I don't know, just a little bit more creative or a little different, I guess you could say. I'm not gonna say it's not a bad songwriting. I think the recording still needs a lot of work. The vocals need a lot of work, but the songwriting I'm talking about, it's not a bad song to have on the album. It serves its purpose if it was on an album or an EP, but it's just not one of my favorite songs by you. Um, Now the vocals, I think need a lot of work. Like I always say, like we said last time, it is about articulation. Excuse me. It's about like I think a lot of it's about leaving more space in between your words. I think your words run together, and I think you need to not leave necessarily gaps, but if you articulate enough and each word has an ending before it. I know sometimes stylistically you can blur words together or whatever, slur words together, but I think sometimes your vocal runs, I think what they call it, and your words are not lining up together with the right, I don't know, the syllables and the accents and the runs are just not all lining up perfectly, and they kind of like go a slur a little sloppy. Um, but I think with your articulation, working on the articulation and stuff like we were talking last time, and then proper breathing techniques. I can only imagine. I'm not a vocal coach, but again, where it doesn't sound like you're running out of breath. You got to make it sound like each word you have plenty of breath to pull it off and stuff. So, I don't. But thanks for submitting, Chika. It's good. I like your stuff as always. I just think this is one you're a little weaker than your normal tracks. All right, what do you think, Blae?
All right. Yeah. 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 No, I
Yes.
think okay, so I'm really I really suck at listening to lyrics.
Same.
It works in it works in musicals for some reason and opera, though then I don't really understand it usually because sometimes it's Italian or operas are kind of hard to understand sometimes. But it works in musicals, but it doesn't work in songs for me. I just don't focus on it at all. I don't know why. It's strange. So I didn't really focus on the lyrics. That's why I was super surprised when I read all the stuff, the super serious stuff, which I did not get that from the music itself. It's again very aggressive. Which I mean, I guess it could be a form of protest, I guess. But I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what happened. What was going on with the lyrics in the song? So I'm gonna talk about this from a production music thingy perspective. And I mean, you already said that you didn't mix it and you can't fix it because you lost the file. Which, yeah, you should always keep backups. I think now's a good time to set up a backup. And you don't need like a local
Everybody stop what they're
server.
doing and back.
Yeah, you don't need like a local server, like expensive stuff or anything. You can get backups done of your like really important stuff. There are services for that, paid services, but also free services. I mean, you get 10 gigabytes
certain
of in Google Drive storage. So
10 accounts.
yeah, you should always back up and set up auto backup for important files and directories. But yeah, no, okay. So I bet Radium's gonna say a lot more about the singing aspects. So I'm not gonna go into that now, and I'm already at my 3-minute mark. So what? I don't know what I'm even talking about. File backups are important. Great feedback. Okay. No. Okay. One thing is just, I mean, but this. Yeah, mixing mastering needs work, of course. Obviously. I think I'm starting to. It's sort of like with mintymist. Where it's like I'm noticing like a pattern of repeatedly using the same sort of ideas and methods to get ideas across. And I think maybe you should too. You should also take it into a different sort of direction. Though not entirely. Don't go. I think it's good that you're sort of getting away from this completely all over the place thing, which wasn't good either. to something a little bit more consistent. But just in the term within terms of actual emotion you're working with and stuff like that, I think it could use a lot more variety, because I'm starting to feel like I'm listening to the same track over and over again with just different lyrics on top, But yeah, don't. I know this. If I say something like that, it's something that would usually make you try to like throw everything away and go do something completely new. Don't do that. I'm just saying, a little bit more variety across different songs would be nice. And still within the songs, I think you could still use a bit more variety within the songs, though. You do have a little bit more variety than some EDM producers do. So yeah. No, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about the singing. There's, let's say, a couple of issues, but Radium's probably gonna talk more about that. Yeah.
Or maybe
Radium, this is your call to action. Help, Radium, help.
save the stream today. Really. Save the stream.
For free? Oh, the audacity. Sometimes I
I
wish
feel
there
the
were.
same way.
Sometimes I feel I wish there were like cameras or some shit, just so we could see like what our faces look.
No, no. I need to. I need the mute button when when I'm totally not laughing or dying.
Um. Um. But do I want to give feedback? That's the thing.
We need some solid feedback today on this stream. We totally do. It's all up to you, Radio.
What? Are you saying my feedback ain't solid?
No,
What?
I'm saying all of
I'm
us have been a
so
little
disappointed.
subpar today. We've said a couple gems, but I think I'm just being critical.
Radium is speechless. She's
Right.
so impressed by your song that there's just no words.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Okay. Well, first of all, I like that your grandmother sometimes listens to the stream, Chika.
Yes, that's
And
all.
that this is the song that she decided to submit. Thank you so much.
I didn't know that.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Radium. Oh.
How old is this song? When I'm just trying, I'm just rambling to save time. Hopefully, we'll run out.
Oh my goodness.
How old is this song? When was? God.
You mean when was the song made?
Yeah. I'm trying to be nice.
Probably yesterday. I don't know. No, wait, 2012. No, wait, that was when someone died.
The girl died. Yeah.
Shit.
First of all, very grim choice of subject.
Yeah.
This is a great way to end the weekend, to start the weekend. There's no way you made this 2 weeks ago. Let's start with the positives. From what I could hear of the instrumental, well, at the end mostly, it sounded good. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear it a lot. The singing. Oh my god, I'm trying to be so nice. Oh my god.
What was wrong with the singing?
I'm trying so hard to be nice. I'm biting my tongue every time. What was wrong with the singing? Well,
The singing.
to start with, I feel like your biggest downfall. First of all, I refuse to believe. Okay, I will not believe. I will be in denial that these vocals were from 2 weeks ago. There's no way. Like, we all know you've improved way beyond that. So first, that's that. Like yeah, those
Like a
those
step.
vocals were not 2 weeks old. Were not recorded 2 weeks ago. Um, I feel like your biggest downfall when it comes to singing is really pronunciation. There's no way, no way. There's no way. That's what this was recorded 2 weeks ago. No way.
She's saying it sounds like something that you've done
A
better
year
since.
ago, because your vocals improved. So there's no way this was made 2 weeks ago.
I think Chika was trying to go for a bit more advanced technique in this one. There were a couple of things like vocal runs and staccato things and stuff like that. And I think Chika's trying to branch out a bit more, and it's like learning from the beginning. I think
Now
there's
is
just
not the time to branch out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need
Hone in
refining
on
in
just
the
refining.
yeah. Yeah, and new technique. A technique is very technical. Wow, that's why it's called technique. But for real though, it's a very technical thing in singing. A lot of these techniques that you attempted, they take lots of experience, lots of practice for years of practice, and it takes a lot of time to get there. And yeah, you need to have the fundamentals down to be able to do any of it. You need to have the right support. You need to have the right breathing. Articulation, very important. It's a big issue that you have, I think, is articulation. The way you pronounce words. Yeah, you need to get the fundamentals right. I think before you work on these more advanced techniques. Though I'm not a vocal coach, I do not. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if maybe working towards these more these other techniques may be beneficial, but I don't know for sure. I want to recommend something, but I don't know if I should because it might backfire. But I almost want to recommend you to maybe look for a music school or just a place where you could, work with a vocal coach, with a singing teacher. I don't know if I should recommend that because, sometimes you find weird people that you do stuff with. So no, but I think you could benefit from, at some point. Oh, you have a vocal teacher. Oh, that's great. You should. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're doing exercises then. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're working on something then, and I was wrong. It's just still developing. That's possible. I don't know. If you have a vocal teacher, then you just ignore what I just said. I mean, then you're probably working on this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I retract what I just said. Yeah. Keep practicing. 40 hours a day practice. Very important. Keep practicing. No, for real though, keep practicing. It's the worst thing you can do to your teacher and to yourself. More to yourself, but it's annoying for the teachers if you don't practice. Practice every day, unless your voice is strained. Then don't, because it's gonna cause damage. But practice. Not for too long, I think for singing.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay.
When you're a beginner, 15 minutes to avoid straining, and as time goes by, you can increase.
Right, yeah. I'm used to, 2 to 3 hours, up to 5 hours, depending on, But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
for
that's for an
professional. That's for
instrument.
professionals. Yeah, that's for instrument. Yeah, that's for instruments. That's for
For a singer,
professionals.
if you
vocal
think
For a
you're a
singer, yeah,
beginner
yeah,
and you
you're gonna
think for
damage
too
your
long,
yeah,
you're gonna strain. It's gonna do.
yeah,
It's
It's
better
gonna
like
do
to
damage. Yeah,
start like little by little, and then as time goes by, so you learn more
yeah,
techniques
yeah,
and get more comfortable. Then you can go
yeah,
for longer. But even then, I would recommend someone singing for 2 hours a day.
yeah,
That's a whole concert.
yeah, yeah. No, that's absolutely right. So yeah, be careful. Keep practicing. Do it moderately. Do regular breaks. Do all the stuff your vocal teacher tells you to do, and
Oh, that's a bad teacher.
you'll
What if
improve.
you got a bad?
Honestly, recording techniques won't do shit.
You want to get those.
It's two different, two entirely different worlds. One thing's the recording aspect that captures. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about recording quality, and why some recordings sound really good and some sound really shit. You can only record what is there. If you record crap, it's gonna sound crap no matter how great your technique in recording is. No matter how great the microphone is, the cable, the stuff, it's gonna sound like shit if the input is shit. I'm not saying your input is shit, but I'm saying that's just how it is. You can't, you can only, with technique, you can only capture what is there. So you don't need to worry about your recording technique right now because you need to worry about your singing technique. You need to get the quality of yourself down, and then you worry about the recording. But you need to have this foundation before you can achieve anything with the actual recording. If you don't have a tone, if you don't have a sound, right. No, I'm not saying you're shit. I'm just saying that's just something. That's just what I said. Just a
Well,
phrase is.
We're talking about the recording of this vocal a cappella. We're not talking about you personally, of course.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm not
this-
talking about the recording either. I'm just saying in general.
just saying.
No, I'm just saying just in general, with anything, with recording. If it's crap, it's gonna be crap no matter what. You can't fix
totally
a
true.
bad input. It's the
It
same
captures
thing with
all the mistakes.
Yeah,
Captures
no,
everything.
it's absolutely. It's like when you when you have like a really bad just like a bit more within like production stuff. If you have like a really bad mic, the most expensive equalizer is not going to do you any good because the information is just not there. That's why I keep telling people that and I mean anyone should know this, but autotune doesn't fix bad vocals. It can only polish the crap. It's when if you get gold spray paint and get some dog poop and spray it, it's golden crap. That's what it is. It's a waste. But if
understand,
you
Blae,
get
but
a
it's gold.
nice sculpture and then paint it gold, then it's nice because you had the foundation for it, and that's the same thing with your voice, with singing, with recording. You don't need the gold lacquer yet, you need to get the foundation right, or else it's just a mixed up mess. I mean, you can practice both things, of course, but I think you should focus on your voice. Yeah.
Yep. All right. We got one left.
Yeah.
Or how we
One
got?
submission left.
Thank you, Blae, for doing my feedback. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
No, I genuinely appreciate it.
Okay.
I was not going to be nice.
Okay.
Well, let me actually like do something and not just stand here rambling. I'm gonna give you one piece of advice, okay? And it's called take things one by one. Like right now,
Yes.
your biggest downfall when you sing is pronunciation. We have no idea what you're singing about, and it's part because you're singing about so deep things, like that suicide Amanda Todd thing that gave me flashbacks. That's super fucking deep. But we have no idea what you're saying. And I'm sure you're singing something that's smart, but we don't know because we don't understand what your lyrics.
Yeah.
And I feel like the music that you do is so lyrical if we don't understand what you're singing, if I need to have the lyrics next to me, the song goes to waste. So take things one by one, keep things simple, focus right now. I don't know what your teacher is teaching you. Like I'm not gonna take away their skills or whatever, but like really focus right now on just making sure that when you sing we understand what you're saying. Like screw learning how to mix, screw recording, screw mastering, like just focus on the voice
Yeah.
right now. And don't try to go into a higher range did. It's not gonna help. Focus on things one by one. Start with lower voice, chest voice, and then gradually explore your eye range. And I know for a fact it's gonna improve your singing 1,000 just by
Yeah.
these little things. Yeah.
I had an idea when you were talking right now. What if you record your vocal, like record yourself doing your vocal exercises, nothing else behind it. Just record yourself doing your scales, your vocal exercises, and just do that often. Then you can start listening to yourself, just the vocal exercises, and see if if you're getting better and improving. And I'd be curious to hear that, and maybe I'd be able to get a better idea of how I could help you, because I just what I can hear right now, it's too hard to hear the music and your vocals at the same time, because the vocals do need some work. So, all right, should we pass this
Yeah.
on?
All right, our final submission for today is going to be All the Things You Are by EDM Eero. It's Miro. Have fun! All right. So that was All the Things You Are by EDM Euro. It just sort of cut out there. I don't know if something's wrong
They
with
could
the
have just
file, but
lowered the fader or something a little.
right. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so Miro did leave us. I mean, sorry, EDM Euro did leave us.
Miro.
EDM
Ed
Miro.
Miro. Ed
Ed
Miro.
Miro. I admire your Ed Miro. Okay, what? Okay, so Miro did leave us a message, which I'm going to read right now. Right now, dear Feedback Stream team. First of all, excuse my cover art choice. I think it's perfect just for live. So here is what makes me thinking. I feel like my improvisation on an electric wind instrument instantly sounds fine. Oh yeah, for people who don't know, so he used what is essentially you could think of it as like a MIDI controller. But instead of keys, it works like a wind instrument. It's a bit different than that, but I think that's a simple enough explanation for most people to understand it. I did a recording on my saxophone today in order to send it to the feedback stream, but it sounds horrible to me. Could be the perfect intonation of a synth be the reason for that? Please help me. I'm starting to get mad at myself because I think about switching my main instrument to the aerophone, which would be totally hilarious. Backing track by random YouTube search. Improvisation by Miro Lutz. Mixed and mastered. Just a limiter on the mix bus. Miro Lutz. English, German arts. Text by Miro Lutz. Text. All credits to Miro Lutz. Okay. Thanks to you all. Have a nice weekend and stay healthy. Cheers. All right. So, what did you think?
Okay. I would never switch completely over to switch away from a saxophone. Saxophone is such a beautiful instrument. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think you could ever recreate the saxophone. I know I used to play a reed instrument, played clarinet for years, and I actually couldn't stand playing reed instruments because it hurt my mouth after a certain amount of time. And I just wasn't, I don't know, it squeaked all the time. So it was really nice when I started playing instruments that I could cover up those kind of mistakes. Electric guitar with distortion, and then of course synthesizers where, you're not going to, but an instrument like that, when you can perfect it like I've heard you do, how to play it without all those squeaks and stuff. You're never going to get anything that sounds as good as the real thing. But taking it over to this, I've heard you and I saw you messing with this. Yeah, that instrument you got, that wood instrument, it just looks so much fun. There's so much you could do with it that you're not gonna be able to do with the saxophone, of course. Especially when it comes to just trying to write MIDI data. Yeah, you can always change the sound later. But just laying down the notes, that quick, just by playing like that, that's pretty cool. It's very powerful. Here's the thing, like this sound, I can tell you, maybe you like this sound a lot, this synth sound. I think the synth sound is just way basic. Like this is not better than a saxophone sound to me. Like it's not rich, there's not enough character, there's not enough growl to it, there's not enough, it's too simple of a synth sound for me. Now there are some really nice synth sounds out there that I think if you were to pick up one of those patches and put it behind your that MIDI controller. It's a MIDI controller, so literally, you could literally put any sound. We were having fun the other day, and I saw you put the 808 bass behind it, and you basically had like a neat little bass instrument there. You can basically get any sound behind it. So really, it is about sound design at this point. Pick the right sounds, or use a plugin that fakes, mimics saxophone. But again, when you're trying to fake something, it's all the things that aren't perfect are very noticeable because you're like, it sounds real, but there's all these things that don't sound as real as the real thing. So me personally, I would use it for synthesizers and stuff like you're doing, but try to make sure the sounds that you're choosing and designing are very modern and new or different and classic. But maybe do just that. You can go get some like classic synth patches from a lot of the Arturia stuff and just play some really classic Moog style synths with it. That'd be really fun and cool. But when it comes to the saxophone, I just don't think you're going to be able to mimic your real thing because you're so good at playing the real thing. So I think if you really had to record something with saxophone and it was a professional piece, I would say still use the real instrument. But if you're trying to write some more fun experimental stuff or synth-based stuff or whatever, use that because you can make it sound like a string instrument, a brass instrument. You can even make it a drum if you wanted to. It's a MIDI controller, so you can really, have fun with that. I would say in this song, so I didn't talk about this song at all. I guess I was talking the whole time about your feedback, your note that you left. But I would say with this song, the sound itself is really just that lead synth is just not warm enough. There's not enough character to it. But you're playing. I love your little licks. I love your little thing. I was gonna say one other thing. I was trying to say this, but I want in your playing though, real quick. I just want you to add a little bit more little. I don't know what they're called. I don't know if they're called trills or little really fast runs, like in between the notes, like where you're just going do 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 do. I would like a little bit more like do 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 do. Like little notes in between, kind of leading you there, and every once in a while, like a little,
Or like a glissando.
yeah,
Or like a short run accent.
yeah, short little runs to kind of tie the things together, and then even when you're holding out a note, kind of like flutter between two notes or stuff, like a little more like tricky things, a little flair. But all right, I'll pass it over to Blae.
All right. Yeah. I just want to mention real quick, because you mentioned the possibilities of sound choice with an instrument like this. I think aside from the synth stuff, what could be interesting to look into, if you want to go for sort of emulating instruments, I believe Audio Modeling is the company that develops Swarm instruments, which are physically modeled virtual instruments. They sound okay, but I think they work best for something like this. But they still try to sound like the real deal, and I think why do that with this? I think it's more interesting to have more interesting choice of sound, different choice of sound with this. Okay, so I think the question you're asking, I think the answer comes down to actually probably just one thing. So the question is, why does this sound better to you and seem easier, or like you're already at a higher level than on the saxophone? I think the answer is simply there's fewer variables to the sound generation. I think that's the whole deal with this. There's just not many. There's ways you can go wrong, but there's not so many ways you can go wrong, like with a purely physical instrument that responds to tiny changes in anything, sometimes in air pressure and humidity and shit like that. It's just like what the hell, I think it masks a lot of these things, and it doesn't require this sort of precision as you would with actual with what am I going to call them, physical instruments? I don't know. Analog instruments, nature instruments, force of nature instruments.
Instruments of the earth. I don't know.
Yes.
Like,
No. But the thing is, it comes at a cost, and that cost is expressiveness. You can't. You can load up crazy sounds and stuff from that. You can control them, and but I think it's just different. It's different. It's not like you can't be expressive with this. There's still some parameters that you're influencing. Yet again, I think there are not as many as you would influence as you would have with the actual instrument. But of course, it's just two different things. It's just two different things. It's completely different things. One is a synthesizer where you control a couple of parameters with a number of techniques. Just a couple of things, which is just the functionality of the instrument. And a saxophone it's just an instrument in its purest form. The tone comes from within you. Um, anything you do, any movement you do, any breathing, any shape you shape your throat with and stuff influences the sound of the instrument. It's just different. It's a different world, and I think that's what it's down to. It's you have fewer and different parameters that you're dealing with, and it comes at the cost of loss of a bit of expressiveness. It's different. I don't think it's bad to have it be your main instrument, but I think you should still keep at it with the saxophone, because I think you can still benefit from getting things down with your saxophone and using other advanced techniques on the aerophone, because I think when listening to some people who are really, really good, I've heard some recordings of people using those kind of instruments. They do some pretty crazy stuff with it, and I think it's just it's just if you get like really get this down, you know, and I think you're sort of touching the surface of that, you know. If I'm gonna be honest, I think it's it sounds nice, it sounds fine. Very safe is what I would call it. I would call it a modest approach. So I think there's more you could do with it, you know, even with the the aerophone.
Aerophone. I
Yeah.
guess some expressive pedals that so you can like if you want to do like some more.
There's a bunch of stuff. But I think there's I mean, of course there's more to explore. It's you didn't have it for so long yet, so I think, but yeah. But I think the sounding better stuff is just down to there's just so much things that can go wrong with a saxophone, with an actual earth instrument. There's just so much that can go wrong that can suggest that there is something bad going on, and I think it's just masking things. You know, it just doesn't capture all of that. You know, it just doesn't capture all of that. It's a different. It's just so different. Yeah, it's just so different. I wouldn't stop. You know, with the saxophone. I really would. I mean, you're saying like making this the main instrument stuff doesn't mean that you I don't think you mean that you'll stop with playing saxophone. That I don't think that you'll stop. Yeah. Now you'll totally get that though. You'll totally get that.
You don't have to buy reeds anymore. So
yeah.
You just stop.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. The question about sounding better or worse. I don't think it's really that sort of question. You know, it's sort of I don't know. No, I don't know. Just keep doing both. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Radium, what did you think? I was ranting again.
I was about to type my feedback because y'all were.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I stopped. Now it's your turn.
Damn it. Yeah, no, that track, no, I didn't like it. I feel like the main issue is you have a great melody, a great and okay backing track. It's like everything was good, but the fact that like the main quote unquote melody was like this weird saxophone MIDI thing, it just completely ruined the old track for me. It lost a lot of expression, a lot of humanity, and I'm pretty sure that the track is like Edsa Fitzgerald's thing, and it's like, yeah, I feel like the saxophone synth thing just kind of completely ruined the track. It just didn't work. So yeah, I'm not feeling it. And it's kind of disappointing because the melody was good. The melody was hype, but yeah.
The melody was also a jazz standard.
Yeah, it's kind of ruined because of that. Like, if it had been like with a real saxophone or like maybe more humanized, I probably would have been like more open minded to it. But I don't know. It's like playing a Pachelbel's canon on a MIDI violin.
People do
It
it,
won't,
and it's always disappointing.
it won't work except the remix with Nicki Minaj's song, but otherwise it won't work. Yeah, kind of disappointed. But I don't know if it was like an experiment or something. Yeah, otherwise I feel like it would have been like another good track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think a major loss is definitely the expressiveness. I think you can do a lot of really interesting things with these instruments. I just think it's very situational. It depends very much on the situation where you're using it. It certainly doesn't work for everything. I think that's just that stuff comes with it. Not everything can have this stuff. I think it's great that you have this instrument. I think you're having a lot of fun with it.
I know I want one.
Yeah.
I would like one.
But I think but I think in terms of making it your main instrument and stuff like that, I don't think that would really work because of those issues. I think it's super great for experimental stuff or just having fun and stuff and like but I think ultimately I think you'll still want to have the saxophone be your main instrument and have this be your side gimmick is a bit harsh, but have this be your side gig, so to say. Sort of on the side you do this also, and you can like if you give a concert one day you're holding a concert, you have main thing is saxophone, then you have like 2 or 3 things with the aerophone and stuff like that.
Yeah, just do what. Yeah, definitely whatever it calls for. But it's like you could be a musician and just play many instruments.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, and Akile gave some good feedback in the chat today. Thanks, Akile. So that was the whole thing, right, Blae? Do we have one more?
No, that's it.
Right. I was going to wrap this up then. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning into our stream today. Again, if you want to get you on the feedback stream, look for the featured post in the community. There'll be a new submission form there. Just a reminder, we're going to do our new MPA production streams that we're doing on Saturday. So that's tomorrow on our Twitch channel at 8 p.m. UTC. And then there's the Jay Piercy remix competition. If you still have about 2 weeks to get that submitted.
I want to see lots of submissions.
Yes, let's I'm gonna find a way to build some more hype on it for sure. All right. Thanks as always, Blae, for streaming, quality stream, and thanks Radium for being here with your feedback. And thanks everyone for being in the chat. We'll see y'all back in the community.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.